Omdahl Show. This is episode 936 and we're here live in Southwest Florida at the beach. We've got some big waves here this morning. Hopefully you can hear them and enjoy them. Hopefully they're louder than the wind. I'm sure I'll hear either way. If you're joining me live, please say hello. Let me know if you're crafting this morning. Let me know if you have questions for me. Hi Joe, good morning. Hi Patricia, good morning. Grace and Leona, Dee, Karen, Judy, Lisa, good morning. Hi Lori and Val, Cherie, Joe. Hi Carrie. Hi Doris and Diane. How's everybody doing today? Happy Tuesday. Hi Eve. And Linda and Colleen and Rita, good morning. Hi Lucy. Hi Lori and Sean, good morning. Finish my row and wait for people to pop over from pre-chat and notifications. Hi Barbara. Hi Kathy. Hi Karen and Mel and Furious Flo and Lottie. Good morning. It's not that cold out here this morning. I wore a cardigan over my tank top and shorts to do a quick little photograph, to do some photos of the new scarf, the koa scarf, and it's not chilly in the grand scheme of things. Maybe chilly for me, but I live in the tropics, so, but not chilly in the grand scheme. It's probably mid-70s, but I'm in the shade with a little wind, and it's 90, I think I saw it was 96% humid here this morning, which just makes it more damp at the beach. Hi Sean, hi Jackie. Lots of familiar faces here this morning. A few, not faces, names. Hi Steffi, hi Anna and Karen. Some photos that looked appropriate for wearing a scarf. And the weather is, like I said, chilly for me in the shade. So I wanted to take some photos of the brand new koa crochet scarf, which if you haven't made this pattern before and you haven't attempted the stitch pattern, I really believe you're going to love it once you get started, because it's a super simple chevron style stitch pattern that combines front post double crochet with back post double crochet and with regular double crochet. So it's more texture than if you just did front post on the right side and back post on the wrong side. There's more texture to it than even that, because, let's see, let me find what I'm trying to reference here. So you have the front post double crochet texture here, but in this increase section here, it's just regular double crochet, so you get extra texture. Can you see the difference between the regular double crochets and the front post double crochets? I feel like that little extra subtle texture is really what makes this scarf so sophisticated looking. And then here it is on the wrong side, and you can see the contrast of the back post double crochet stitches here in the decrease section, whereas the regular double crochets are still the increase section. So these are the increases and these are the decreases on the wrong side, or the back post side, and then here are the decrease sections and the increase sections on the right side. So we're combining it's pretty on both sides, yes. Like, it's not identical, which is often something that I feel is a requirement for a scarf, something you're going to see on both sides, but the only exception I have to that is when something's equally as beautiful on both sides, then I don't think it has to match on both sides, and this absolutely qualifies for that. Look at that. There's the right side and here's the wrong side. Like, I just think it's pretty on both sides and interesting on both sides. And this is a project in Be So Vivid yarn. which is my number 4 sport weight yarn that's self-striping. It's 70% cotton, 30% acrylic, number 4 worsted weight. I did this on a J hook, which is 6mm. This is a 2-ball project, and this color is called You, Me, and the Sea, which has lots of beautiful blues. I got a question on the tutorial video for this scarf last night asking if it could be made for men. Absolutely. I totally feel like this scarf is unisex. This would be beautiful for a man or a woman. I do not think that this is overly feminine. Obviously, color is an important thing to consider at that point too, whether you're trying to stay gender neutral, feminine, masculine. Color is really important then, right? But the stitch pattern itself is absolutely unisex. You could use this for men and women. Great question. I also think that this would be absolutely amazing as an Afghan or even as a shawl. And so I discussed this quite a bit in the tutorial video, that the stitch pattern is a multiple of 20 plus 2. So there's 1 extra double crochet on this side and this side for the plus 2. But then in the middle here, if you wanted to make this wider, you would do, each scallop is 20 stitches. So you would want to, so when you start out your first row of the pattern, it's foundation single crochet, which makes it really easy to figure out as well, because you don't have to count the extra chains as your first stitch. We can talk about that another time. This is a multiple of 20 plus 2. So if you wanted to make this a lot wider to make an Afghan, you would do 20 times a lot more repeats and then just add that plus 2 and follow the pattern exactly as written. I think you would want this at least 3 times as wide for a shawl. And so if this is a 2-ball project, that would make it a 6-ball project for a, for a shawl. And I think you would want this probably 6 times as wide. You'd want 6 of this wide. So then I would multiply the number of balls times 6. So then I would call this a 12-ball project if you were going to do it as an Afghan, just to give you some rough estimates. Another question that came in during the premiere of this scarf tutorial video was, could I use this for a skirt and work in the round? Yes, the short answer to converting a stitch pattern to working in the round from rows is that excuse me, is that you'll only need the repeat, you won't need the plus whatever. So if working in rows, this stitch pattern is a 20 multiple plus 2, then to work in the round it would just be a multiple of 20. However, having said that, depending on where you start or stop your rounds, it could get complicated because there are some decreased stitches in here. And so you would want to make sure that you begin or end your round somewhere in between decreases and increases. It's possible you could do it on an increase, but you definitely would be more complicated trying to do it at a front post double crochet 2 together section. So you want to be mindful of where you're going to begin and end your round when you're converting a stitch pattern from rows to rounds. And this is something we can definitely discuss with a board and use other examples on another day. But in general, you might even want to add a +1 just so you have a place to do a singular double crochet, and it could be the side of your skirt or the back of your skirt. It could be a way that you turn this into a cowl or a skirt or a hat or anything else that you want to work into the round. Does that make sense? I'll wait a second to see if there's any questions or further questions on that. Oh, by the way, the new merchandise for the show, you can see below the video. It's from Teespring. I bought a t-shirt, I haven't worn it yet, and I bought a tote bag that I forgot to bring today, and then I got this little pencil pouch and this aluminum cup that I can use for hot or cold. I just wanted to point out those things for you. Can you make this scarf in any weight? You can make any pattern in any weight yarn. It's up to you whether you like your results, don't like your results, get the right gauge, don't get the right gauge, care if you get the gauge, don't care if you get the gauge, like your drape, don't like your drape. Those are questions that you ask yourself for personal preference. However, you can make any project in any yarn. Whether you like your results when you yarn substitute, that's another story, but there is absolutely no yarn police in the world that tell you you have to make any project in a specific yarn. So that is a question that can always be answered. Yes, of course, you can make anything in any yarn. The question ends up becoming, are you looking to get the same exact look? Are you trying to do something completely different? There are a lot of questions to ask yourself when yarn substituting, but in general, no, you can use whatever you want. You know, there's no wrong way to be creative as long as you like your results. If you don't like your results, that's when you have to ask yourself, okay, what else could I do? Is this yarn going to give me the drape that I want? Is it going to give me the gauge that I want? Am I going to get the right size? Do I want to use the same amount of yardage? Do I want to get the same size? Do I want to get the same drape? These are questions that are important to you, not to me as a designer. I use the yarn that I want to get the look that I want. And I properly record all of my information so that you can replicate if you like the way I've made something. If there are things you don't like about what I've made, you have the ability, as you're being a creator, to modify anything to fit your needs. And that includes yarn substitution, whether you want to change to a different weight of yarn, a different fiber content, a different anything. But there's no wrong way to be creative as long as you're getting the results that you want. If you're getting the results you want, great. If you're not, then there are a series of questions you have to ask yourself. And that's when we get involved in gauge and fiber content and blocking and drape and how it fits, right? Great questions today, guys. If you have any more questions, please let me know. Thanks, Grace. You're welcome, Lori. Kathy says she always replaces the yarn used in a designer's pattern. Then she must have a lot of experience with yarn substitution. And for those of you that have a lot of experience with yarn substitution, you know how to ask yourself those questions. Or you're willing to forego some of the things that you want that are presented in photos or in a finished product. Like, it's okay to compromise yourself for certain things too. You know, maybe you don't care about having the same drape. Maybe you don't care about things matching. I mean, there are lots of reasons why some things are important to some people and some things aren't. So the questions that you ask yourself if something doesn't turn out the way you want depends on what's important to you too. Like, let's say you decided to make this scarf and you wanted to use a really thick roving yarn, like something super, super thick. And you start making it, it comes out way bigger and you're excited about that, but then you go, oh shoot, it's taking more yardage. I didn't account for that. Like, there's things that come up, if you change your gauge, you change your yardage. If you change your fiber content, you change the amount of drape that you have. If you change your hook size, needle size, and yarn thickness, you change the size. Like, it's okay. And if that's the challenge that you want and you like doing that, wonderful. And if you don't, then that's another story too. But again, there's no wrong way to be creative as long as you like your results. So do what you want. Do what makes you happy. However, if you're looking for specific results, then it is more important to follow directions. All right, does anybody else have any other questions? These are great questions. This is color You, Me, and the Sea of Be So Vivid. Oh yes, how about making an afghan in this stitch pattern and Be So Easy yarn? Yes, it would be thicker, cozier, it would involve some modification, but you could still absolutely do it. you would need to work on your yarn, your yardage estimates, but you know, in general, yes, I did wash and block it, Sean. Yes, Afghans and Be So Easy yarn are amazing. Oh, I finished the poncho in Be So Easy yarn over the weekend. It is in tech editing now. It took 14 balls of Be So Easy yarn in color raspberry. I was able to create a beautiful large poncho. It's about 56 inches wide, 26 inches long. It has cuffs on the sleeves. It is rectangular, so it's got a nice straight edge along the bottom, so when your arms go up and down, it actually goes like, is there anything you don't need to block? Well, Carrie, blocking is kind of a misnomer and comes with its own set of excuse me, myths, because we're wearing things against our skin. They're clothing. Is there any clothing in your closet that you don't wash? Are there any linens on your table that you don't wash? Is there anything in your house that goes against your skin that you don't wash? Of course not. We wash everything. And how yarn is affected by water is an important part of getting your final gauge on a product. Having said that, the word blocking really means how you reshape something after it's been affected by water. And it's something you've been doing your whole life with any sweater that you've washed, whether it's store-bought or handmade. When you lay it flat to dry and you reshape it and allow it to dry. So the word blocking, I think, really comes with a lot of intimidation for people. Really, you're washing something. You're washing it. You're washing it just, I mean, after I wear this a couple of times and it's been on my face and it's been on my makeup and it's been on my skin, I have to wash it, right? Now, when I wash it, I'm going to lay it flat to dry and I'm going to reshape it if it's lost its shape during the washing process. Technically, that is called blocking, but blocking is part of the washing process. And when we wear things, we have to wash them. I mean, human beings, we wear clothes, which makes us a little different than animals, right? They don't wear clothes, thank goodness we do, which means well, we have to wash them. No different than if we were covered in fur like animals. They have to wash their fur, we have to wash our clothes. Yes, Lori, if you don't like the way your foundation rows are looking, then you could definitely increase them in size, but I would also suggest washing and blocking it and seeing if it comes smoother then, because it's how it reacts to water that will show you what your final gauge is going to be. Did you do a gauge swatch? Did the foundation row pucker on your gauge swatch after you blocked it? If it did, then yes, you would want to do that. If not, if you didn't do a gauge swatch and you didn't check to see how the fibers reacted to water, then I would check that first before I would start over. Excuse me. All right, who else has questions today? I was talking about the poncho. So here is the more details on the poncho. So the poncho has sleeve cuffs, but it's open on the sides. It's absolutely gorgeous. I did a detached cowl, and the cowl is shorter at the neck edge, and then it gets wider as it gets taller, because I wanted to be able to fold it down and be like a big voluminous cowl neck, but also it means you could pull the whole thing up and wear it as a hood too. So we've got poncho, we've got sleeve cuffs, we've got detached cowl slash hood, but wait, there's more. I did a belt too. So for 14 balls, you're gonna get the poncho, the cowl slash hood, and the belt, which means that even in a poncho, you're gonna have styling options. It's so beautiful, it's so cozy. Be So Easy yarn, 14 balls. I did color raspberry. There's multiple charts in the pattern. It will be available in the next few days. We're in tech editing now, so it'll be tech editing, photos, release of pattern, and then tutorial videos after that. But it's so pretty. I love it beyond words, and I think you will too. All right. Who else has questions? I'm still working on the shawl that I showed you last night. This is going to be 5 colors in the teal family of Be So Luxe yarn. So far I've done Sea Breeze and Tropicana Cabana, but I'll show you the 5 colors if you want to see them. The poncho is crocheted. So here's my teal family, mostly teal. This is Sea Breeze, Tropicana Cabana, Waterfall Rendezvous, Peacock Feathers, and Walking After Midnight. Aren't they going to be pretty? I think they're going to be beautiful together. Okay, I'm getting warm now. Alright, does anybody have any other questions? Wendy, I have put together some curated sets in Be So Luxe yarn, and if you go to the Be So Luxe yarn page on my website, you can see them. Eve, I explained the multiple for the scarf multiple times in the tutorial video. It should be on the pattern page as well. It's a multiple of 20 plus 2. So each chevron wave is a multiple of 20 stitches, and then there is a double crochet on each edge for the plus 2. You're welcome. I love the scarf too, and it's a nice and easy stitch pattern to memorize once you get going. It's a 2-row repeat, and it is a chevron, so it goes with increases, decreases, increases, and that's what you repeat across the row. So very easy to modify by doing more repeats across the row if you wanted to make this an afghan, a blanket, or a wide rectangular wrap. So pretty though. The texture is just amazing. I love it. Let me bring it closer. So here's the right side row where you see the front post double crochets alternating with regular doubles. And here's the back side row where you see the back post double crochet texture alternating with the regular double crochets. And I thought that this was so much more interesting with combining double crochet regular with the post stitches. It just gives that little bit more texture and actually amplifies the post stitches. If I'd have done post stitches all the way across, I feel like it wouldn't have given this as much texture as it has. Will there be a video for the Luxe Shelly? Of course. I try to do videos for each of my patterns. I just go as fast as I can, and I released a video for this one yesterday. But yes, I have a long list of patterns that need videos. In the meantime, all of my patterns include written instructions for all the sizes and charts. You should have everything you need for any of the patterns, but yes, I plan on creating as many supplemental tutorial videos as I can. All I can say is that I go as fast as I can. But yes, I've got a very long list of patterns and videos, supplemental videos to go along with the patterns. And Shelly is at the top of the list. That stitch pattern is so beautiful on that top. And also, so on that stitch pattern, it's an offset floral pattern for the lower body of the Shelly pullover. That stitch pattern worked in the round like that would be an amazing cowl too. So don't forget, once you have a pattern, whether it's worked in rows or worked in rounds, think about all the other things that can be done in that formation. So I did the lower body of that pullover worked in the round. Well, now you have that stitch pattern and that chart to work anything in the round in that stitch pattern. So then you could do the lower portion of a hat, the entire contents of a cowl, a skirt, anything else that you would want to do tubularly, a sleeve, I suppose, anything that you would want to do to a bag. You could do a bag in that stitch pattern and then sew it up the bottom or create a base. That's great, Cherie. I'm so glad that you've learned how to read charts. It's a game changer. Once you learn how to... Oh, I forgot to wear... I still haven't worn this yet. I was planning on wearing this for the next beach walk, and I still want to cut the neck out too. I bought the largest size. No, I bought a 2XL, and I definitely want to wear this on my next beach walk, but I'm going to cut the neck out because you know I like to wear things low and with some leggings before I go on my next beach walk. But so cute. I like my new logo. Yay, Lucy learns from my videos too. I'm so glad to hear that. I've got so many exciting things coming in the near future to share with you. Some of you have requested over the years. Some of them you haven't requested over the years, but I have a lot of exciting, fun things coming soon, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you are going to be really excited about it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you are going to find it interesting. So how's that for a tease sneak peek? It's not a sneak peek, it's a tease. Something is tickling my throat out here, sorry. All right, does anybody have any other questions? I still haven't shown you how to do these twists, have I? We'll need to do that soon too. Yeah, that was a tease. Whoopsie! It might be pollen, Karen. It might be red tide. Who knows? Who knows? It could be anything, but something's tickling my throat out here. Drink some more water. No, I'm out of water. All right, any more questions? Oh, one more thing. You know how there's that huge sale going on right now? Fall30 is the coupon code to get 30% off. Be so sporty, be so fine, be so sporty gold and silver bling, be so fine gold and silver bling. Well, yesterday I found several more balls of Be So Fine Silver Bling in color Fire and Ice, which is a beautiful burgundy. And so I have updated the inventory on the Be So Fine Silver Bling page. So there's several more balls of Fire and Ice, which is a beautiful burgundy with that pure silver thread plied right into it. So if you want to grab those while they're on sale, they are updated. The inventory's been updated on that page. Wanted to mention that. What else? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to remember anything else today. Remembered a few things. I'm not going to totally rip myself apart. It's funny though, I get to the car and I go, geez, I forgot to say that. Forgot to tell them about that. All right, well, if there are no other questions, let's walk down to the water's edge so that we can see those large waves in all their glory. Yes, the mesh bags were, both the large and small mesh bags were put back into inventory yesterday. So if you didn't watch the show last night, you're not aware of that. So the small mesh zipper bags are $2.99 on sale, and the large mesh bags are $3.99 on sale. We still have that cliff or that edge here from where the waves knocked the beach pretty hard last night, and the waves are look it, I stepped on that and thought for sure I stepped on a snake. It's not a snake. It's not a snake. You know, I just think anything tubular in my toes and my feet is probably a snake. Yep, laundry bags are in stock too, Karen. Okay. Look at these waves. You can see that the water's not clear, and that's because all the activity has churned up the sand. Make it a little, we got another little birdie with us today. He's probably hungry. Yeah, the laundry bags are great. The laundry bags are great for lots of reasons, but if you live with other people, separating everybody's clothes in laundry bags, especially, that's why I made the laundry bags so big, so that you could have multiple options for what to do with them. Separating other people's clothes, I think, is a game changer when you're washing more than one person's clothes at a time, or washing different types of things. Like, I'll put my lingerie separate from sheets. I'm not one to do totally different loads of laundry. I like to do everything kind of all together, usually in cold water, so I'm not worried about things bleeding and stuff like that. So I like to separate different types of clothes. So my lingerie goes in one bag. That could be bras, undies, socks. Not that I wear socks really. Sports bras, anything like that. And then if there's anything else delicate, absolutely, I put it in laundry bags. So anything with delicate lace, like some of the blouses that I wear. Things with tassels definitely go in laundry bags. because if you put this in a load of laundry with other things, these will either get ripped off or they'll get tangled around something really badly. So anything with dangly things, I put in laundry bags. And so I would put tops like this in a laundry bag, lingerie in a laundry bag, then anything handmade in its own laundry bag. And so having those larger laundry bags really helps to separate things, to protect them from other things in the laundry. And then I don't have to do multiple loads. And I often worry that if you do a lot of smaller loads, you're probably using more water than if you just did one big load. It's got to be less energy that way. So I do like using them for sorting clothes when I wash them. The laundry bags are fine for yarn storage too, because they are somewhat see-through. They're not completely opaque. They are white, but you can see what's inside them. A little bit. Would that be translucent, transparent? I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, great questions today, everybody. I appreciate everybody's content. You talking to me during the show is so wonderful. It allows us to have full conversations where just because I have knowledge or experience in a subject, I don't always have the right words for other people's points of view. You know, certain things that I talk about I've been doing for decades. So someone that's newer to a subject, getting your questions really helps me to have a broader, be able to explain things more fully. So I always appreciate the questions. Sometimes I can answer them on the spot, sometimes I can't, but they always help me to teach an idea so much better. So thank you so much for always sharing your perspective and sharing your questions. And just like I've said before, we're more alike than we are different. If you have a question, chances are someone else had the same question and maybe they weren't as brave as you were to ask it. Not that I'm saying that it takes bravery to ask a question here. I feel like I've curated a very safe and loving community here during my show, but not everybody knows that, especially when they're new, and people get intimidated by leaving comments sometimes. So thanks to everybody who feels comfortable enough to leave your questions here, because like I said, we're more alike than we are different. And when you ask a question, you're actually helping someone else that was a little more intimidated to ask the same question. So yay you! Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise, the big loud waves today, all my show and tells, chatting with me and everyone else. Don't forget, we will update the video description with the show notes and all the links for everything that I talked about today when the show is no longer live and it goes into recording. So always check out that video description to find the links to anything we talked about, and everything's on my website, so you can always go there. There's a wonderful search bar on my website where you can search for anything and get help that way, and you can always ask. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Kristin Omdahl Show. Bye-bye.